Alrighty then, it's time for the RGH freaking podcast. This is the Real Gamer Hour with Mtashed, KackisHD, and True Vanguard. We talk about all things. Yo, he's just sitting down.
He's just. What are we talking about tonight, guys? Sorry.
Yo, what are these topics?
Sorry guys. I was hitting up a patio.
Yeah, finally got a haircut. Finally got a shave. Doesn't look homeless. Incredible. Loving it. We got a lot of gaming news today. Like, this is going to be one of the most exciting episodes. This is one of the ones I'm excited to talk about. We had E3. We had the gamers thing with
the gamers
Knightley, the game thing. Well, they talked about some other games that weren't at E3. Huh?
The gamer night for gamers.
Yeah, your mic all of a sudden. Your
you're mega quiet.
Quiet again now. You were loud and now you're quiet. This is why you don't leave as the podcast goes.
How about now?
You're so quiet. You're so.
I'm turning you up manually now.
Oh my!
Just maybe drag his audio up in Discord.
All right, talk again.
Here, I'm talking again.
You know what? No, this could be a dream come true. Leave it.
Yes, actually, kind of nice.
Yeah, well, hold up.
Yeah, kind of nice.
I turned it down in the Audacity settings because I was like, oh, it's way too loud. I'll turn it down. And it turned it down in Discord too for no reason.
Maybe do that again because honestly, it was kind of nice.
You know what? Shut up. It's fine.
I was like, Mike, do you hear that?
Our poor editor is gonna get an audio clip that like quiet, goes loud, goes over. So too bad.
It's gonna
here.
Spike nicely.
We're here. We're gaming. Let's go.
So we saw.
Go for it.
Lost Ark coming to North America, which is pretty sweet because it's been in Korea forever and everyone's wondering if that game would ever join the North American ranks. We got Battlefield news, and then we got the Battlefield trailers, and then the E3 is starting. Like, this was a really jam-packed thing. So let's start from the top because this is the one, as Destiny players, we've all tried Halo from time to time, I'm sure, but Halo has been in a bit of a rut, and Halo Infinite, they kind of need Halo Infinite to pop off. They need Halo Infinite to bring in, the old audience, but they need to bring in a new audience. And damn, that trailer looked pretty fire to me. Like, gorgeous. Visually, the fidelity there.
Oh, the difference. Remember last year, all the guns looked like pulling. Do I sound normal now? Let me know. I think I sound a little bit more normal, but okay. Last year, they're like every gun was a Play-Doh gun. We had the Brute. What was his name? I forget. Craig the Brute. Everyone memed on it so hard, and now it looks like 10 times better. So it's like, wow, dude, they were literally almost gonna put this franchise on the line, forcing it out last year with the launch of the console. So thank goodness that they did. Dial it back because it looks Jake, if you go back and watch that old trailer and then like watch this new stuff, it's kind of shocking like how much they accomplished.
It's like, is this an Xbox 360 game? Is that?
Yeah, I know, right?
But now it's like it. Yeah, and that's the thing. Here's been my problem with Halo is that Halo has not excited me in a long time. The last time Halo like genuinely excited me was back in Halo 3, and I was playing the crap out of it. Reach came out, and I went into that excited, and it wasn't horrible. I kind of liked Reach, but then after that, my excitement for Halo just took a nosedive.
I didn't even play 5. I'm gonna be honest.
I played it. I bought it. I played it, and I immediately regretted the purchase. I did not enjoy it. I thought it was zero fun whatsoever. Yeah. So, and that's been my problem with Halo. So, seeing this gameplay, I will be honest, I'll probably get crucified for this. I can recognize watching that gameplay. This looks like it's going to be a good game. This looks like it was well made, and the gameplay does look pretty cool. Am I excited about it? I can't say that I am yet, because Halo to me, because of where it's been, I'm not excited yet. But here's the good news. Free on Game Pass. So will I play it? Will I give it a shot? You bet your sweet bippy I will. I'm going to dive in. I'm going to play it. And if it excites me, great.
I tried not to interrupt. You're wrong. It's not just... Well, you're right and wrong. Because free on Game Pass, I believe that's like the single-player campaign.
Right, but the multiplayer
is just free.
That's
free
right.
for everybody.
Yeah.
that is a huge deal. Obviously, obviously they're not gonna put out Halo. Actually, it would be a big peen energy move to put out Halo multiplayer on PlayStation. PlayStation would probably say no. Like, even if Xbox was like, we don't care, we can put it on PlayStation Store, PlayStation would probably say no, honestly, just because how PlayStation is. But PC, obviously, PC and Xbox free to play. Also, I was watching some of their multiplayer reveal, and like, no loot boxes, they said, really. Like, you acquire the cosmetics through in-game, either playing it in-game, well, all playing it in-game, either I think through challenges or the battle pass. So they've got a battle pass system, and obviously there's going to be like the pay to skip tiers to get to level 100 right away, which is fine. It's like, as long as it like a reasonable person could get to tier 100 just through gameplay, like, and they have some double XP and double progression weekends, you're good to go. Like, that's pretty commendable, because they could have, if it was totally free to play, justified putting in a ton of loot boxes in there for cosmetics, and they would have made a ton of money. But going away from that and going from like where you actually see rewards is pretty commendable.
No, absolutely. I mean, they're also changing up the game a little bit with the grappling hook. Like,
yeah,
that is going to be interesting, because it isn't just for traversal. You can actually pick up weapons with it. If you're racing for the gravity hammer, if you're racing for the sword, you can do it. But the other thing that was beautiful was, I don't know if you saw the clip where he throws the grenade at the energy sword and flings it towards him, kind of thing. There's a lot of interesting physics there where you can maybe, throw a grenade, pop a weapon in the air, and then grapple it. And, I feel like some of the skill gap there is going to be interesting. We saw the battle rifle, all the, regular power weapons, all the vehicles coming back. There's apparently
I'm wrong. Apparently you can't pay to skip the battle pass. Apparently it's just,
you just earn it.
And they don't go away either. So apparently you can just like earn like last year's battle pass or last season's battle pass or whatever, which is crazy. Like, how, I don't know. So there's got to be a way to make money in this, guys. Like, there's going to be something. They might
maybe they go back to the old model. Maybe they go back to map packs and stuff like that. Who knows?
Could be. I think no, because they realize. So you see a lot of devs going away from map packs, and the reason is because it segments the player base.
Right.
So and you especially with a free to play game, you can't have like, because you can obviously only matchmake with people who've already bought that map pack, and then the player base gets splintered and smaller, and so I don't think they're going to do that. They're probably just going to sell cosmetics in the in-game store eventually. Maybe not at launch. Like, they probably have all this great stuff at launch, and then like maybe a couple seasons after, maybe a couple little. Now you can pay to skip the battle pass 2 seasons later, right? Maybe. That's what Call of Duty does that all the time. No loot boxes. 2 seasons later, hey, here's loot boxes.
The interesting thing though is, if you can buy that battle pass and just play it at your own rate, I wonder if that ups the hype for them and the amount of people that purchase it. Because instead of being like a FOMO thing, it's just a great value buy for someone who wants a bunch of skins, and maybe there's some other boosters there. The other thing too is, like, maybe there's experience boosters as little prizes along the way, and then it's like, well, I've got last year's battle pass, I get those bonuses, use it on the next, like, who knows what it all entails. But if you're buying it and you're away for a month doing some work, or you just want to try out that new game, you're not going to get destroyed and lose your $15 or $20 that you put into it. You can just pick it up later. And honestly, I feel like that's pretty goodwill, from the Halo creators. It's 343, right? And I think that's awesome. Yep. Now, they have done skins like in the past. They did like team skins for some of the esports stuff. And so, there might be some special packs down the road, like the championship series, where you can actually buy, like, let's say Liquid won a tournament, they'd have like their own skins. Maybe there's going to be some, almost specialty shop stuff. But
it's a great tie-in with esports. Like, fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to have an esports setting for sure.
Yeah.
And there's already been teams who've already said, like, oh yeah, we're going to assemble a crew for this. Absolutely.
And I guess it just depends on like what the reception is at launch. Are the big streamers playing it? Or does the game feel competitive?
Oh, well, they'll make sure Microsoft will make sure the big streamers are playing Halo on release, if you know what I'm saying. Bro, I gotta start streaming for that launch, brother, because give me some of that Xbox money, gamer. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Microsoft, I'll play Halo. You know what I mean? I'll be a Halo YouTuber. But it brings up an interesting question. I really want to ask you guys. Do you guys think, though, that, like, obviously for you to be invested in the Battle Pass, the game has to be good. And I wonder if Halo has kind of like aged and it just isn't it isn't going to be as popular anymore because they are going back to that classic Halo, which a lot of people want, but like what you have with a classic Halo is very little customization in terms of your actual loadout. Like Destiny, think of how much customization is, what loadouts, what perks are on the weapons, what barrels you're running, what armor you're running, what stats you're running, what mods you're running. Call of Duty, you're customizing your sight, your foregrip. Like, people love diving into that stuff and customizing loadouts for them. And Halo has like not much of that. It's mostly cosmetic customization.
I don't
like
know
a battle rifle is a battle rifle, and you can't really do much to it.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that'll be so much of an issue or not, because I mean, you think about, there's a whole lot of people right now that love the BR genre, and in a lot of these BRs, customization happens in the gameplay. It's not something that happens beforehand, outside of your skins and stuff. It's on the fly during the matches when the customization comes into play. And what we saw from the gameplay, with Halo is that it looks like it's a pretty highly technical game, you know. And so there could be a lot of different ways you can mix and match your loadouts and what you're going to be running and what you're finding on the map. Yeah. And that's what's going to differentiate you and your play style.
I guess like something like Apex Legends doesn't have like the weapon, you customize it in the game. I would argue though that Warzone, because you can do those weapon drops and bring in your custom loadouts, it brought that customization into the Battle Royale genre. So I would say that it's trying to give players the best of both worlds. But some people...
one thing I want to touch on though is like, so whether you're playing Fortnite, every person who's playing Fortnite wants to get the scar and they want to get the purple pump, or you know, like whatever. They always want that, right? Yeah. And so it's like optimally every person that is in the lobby wants the exact same weapons. And so, you know, like, yeah, customization is great, but even in COD with customization, how many people just run the GRA with the same attachments? Like, the meta forms really quickly. And so so with a game like Halo and power weapons on the map, everyone is on an even playing field. They've got their gun. They want to become the best of that gun. And they know how to get another gun that's going to be good and optimal and fight for it. And, you know, it's, for me, I hate customization. I hate randomness. I hate the BR side of things where someone can have a purple gun and I've got a white. And I lose because, like, my bloom is crazy. And so, you know, there's a lot of people like me that they look at Halo and it's like a saving grace kind of thing for
I
PvP.
would say there's kind of an inflection point, though, of Call of Duty 4, right? Modern Warfare, where that started off, hey, we have a shooter. Before, every shooter was like that. Halo, Quake, a gun is a gun is a gun. And Call of Duty said, well, now you can put on, do you want a red dot sight? Do you want a silencer? Do you want a long range sight? And that kind of changed everything. That one point, you brought in and then what perk do you want? And those choices and being able to just have a stealth build, you know, put on a silencer, dead silence, ghost, you're now off the radar, you're playing stealthy, or, you know, red dot sight, stopping power, you're going in, you know. So just that choice, bringing in those RPG elements to a shooter, you saw when Call of Duty did that, they never went back. And then you also saw even Halo with, I believe, Halo 4 maybe, you could mess around with a couple of different sites, I believe, for like they had a little bit of customization. They tried to add as much as they could. So you saw, like, once Call of Duty made the decision, it never went back because players loved that. And Battlefield, we're going to talk about later, very customizable with what you can choose in terms of your weapon. So I'm just thinking, like, will people be nostalgic for, like you said, I don't have to worry about 75 different choices. I can just pick up a BR and it's going to work, or like, you know, a battle rifle, and it's going to work the same every time. Or are you going to have people getting bored a little bit quicker because every match plays out the same because you start with the same guns all the time?
Well, one of the things that Halo's done well, and I have to say this to their credit, as much as Halo hasn't excited me in the past, one of the things that they have done well that I wish other games would implement, even games like Destiny, is they have customization options that are tied to specific actions that you perform in game. So you could get, for example, a really cool looking unique armor set, but in order to get it, you had to get X number of headshot kills with every single UNSC weapon in the game in PvP. You know what I mean? And so you're going to start looking different as you're chasing specific challenges that you're taking on. So you're going to start looking different from everybody else. But not only that, you're also going to be doing these other challenges that are going to change the way your emblem looks. So when people die to you and they see your emblem, they're like, oh, he did this thing. Oh, he's done that. You know what I mean? And also, part of the charm of Halo has also been accumulating like medals and accolades, and that's another one of the way they get people coming back to the game because they're like, I've had this medal and that medal, but I don't have that extermination yet. Ooh, I want to get to 25 extermination medals. Man, my best is a Kilimanjaro, and I need to go higher and need to get that clip. Yeah. And so medal hunting has also been a big thing in that community.
To play devil's advocate, the one other thing I'm worried about, and it's something a lot of people in the chat brought up, is because it's free to play, there's gonna be cheaters, dude. And if it's just Xbox and PC, there's really no reason for them not to have crossplay like right off the bat. So the console players won't even be safe from the cheaters. So that could be a big issue. Like running aimbot in Halo, like never miss that battle rifle burst. That could be something they have to worry about.
I wonder.
We should probably move on soon.
Yeah. And we could talk about it in Battlefield, because I mean, if there's cheaters in Battlefield, that's going to stress me out. I wonder if it's going to get to the point where, like, personally, I don't play shooters much anymore because there's cheaters in like every game now. Like, it's crazy. They're so good.
Every game's free though.
Yeah.
Like Battlefield, we're going to talk about, hey, your account gets banned, enjoy paying another $60. And just that alone, because these cheaters are absolutely losers who live in their mom's basement and eat macaroni all day and have no discernible income or skills because they have to cheat to play a video game, right? Like, these people don't have another $60 to spend on Battlefield. They legit don't have it, right? Or they got to convince their mom to give it to them. So just that, the barrier to entry, like, people, it's kind of funny seeing people being like, oh, I gotta pay $60, like every game's free. Dude, you almost want to though, because it ensures like an integrity of the multiplayer experience, because there's so much less cheaters when there's a paywall.
Literally Trials and Destiny is probably 50% cheaters at this point.
It's insane.
Maybe not 50%, but it's an insane amount. Like, more than it's ever been. And, you know, if these companies like Microsoft, bro, you got money. You need to throw money at this problem. And it's one of these things that, like, if you invest in it now, won't it pay dividends long term? Because there's going to be more games. There's going to be more shooters. There's going to be more games. Like, if EA and Respawn aren't doing something in Apex Legends for all these cheaters, then what about the next game? What about the next game? What about the next game?
Yeah.
It's a problem that's running rampant, and it needs a fix, hopefully soon.
It's a good point. That's a good point. And, like, I mean, Warzone will ban like 80,000 people in one go, and insane stuff like that. So, but like, Microsoft seems to be willing to spend the money, so maybe we could see it launch with a solid anti-cheat, and it's actually a free-to-play game that doesn't have cheaters. Like, maybe Microsoft will just go to war with cheaters.
Well, with Battlefield, do you know if they have an anti-cheat? Like, I know Riot has their Riot Vanguard system. Like, does Battlefield have a system?
I remember installing like Punkbuster or something at some point for some Battlefield. I'm not sure about this one, but I think they do. I want to say yes, that they have some sort of anti-cheat. Right. And but again, just they're $60. So when they do ban people, it makes so much more effective. Like, you talk to people who are cheating in Warzone and stuff, they're like, I just make a new account in 2 minutes. I literally don't care if I get banned.
Yeah.
So just that paywall is such a big deal.
Okay, so now another thing with the paywall.
We're into Battlefield now.
Is it going to be worth it? Is that paywall going to be worth it now that we've seen some footage?
Hard to say. Oh, dude, the footage, the gameplay trailer for Battlefield, I was blown away. I thought it was fantastic.
Oh man, I was so happy with it.
Dude, people were like hating on it though. They were like,
What's there to hate on?
That's the thing. I saw a lot of comments. If you go to the trailer on like, let's say the Battlefield subreddit, and you look in the comments, a lot of the comments are addressing like, how are people hating this? But like, that's all you see. You don't actually see people hating on it. So is it just like a very little minority who everyone's like picking up on maybe? Because I was very positive. I would have liked to see a little bit more gunplay though. The guy like shot one guy the entire time.
But there was a lot of vehicles.
Yeah, it was more just about the spectacle. Like, look at how freaking big these maps are. Look at the environment.
Sandstorm.
There's a tornado.
Yeah. And people getting sucked around by the tornado. They're like trying to get to the VTOL, and it's being like
gets ripped
away. And it's like, yo, it just looks like a wild time, dude.
And that's really, I think that's one of the things Battlefield has done so exceptionally well in the past, in the titles that were really successful, is they made you feel like you were part of something like really freaking epic.
Oh,
you know,
dude, that's something. Can I just say a little that picking on that exact point, TV? So many people are like, "Oh, Battlefield? You mean the game that you can't even make a difference in? Like 128 players? Like, if my team's bad, I just lose." She's like, listen, brother, coming from someone who is hardcore into Battlefield, if you couldn't, with a cracked squad, if you couldn't make a difference, you're not that good at Battlefield. Because let me tell you, if you had a squad, dude, I remember like capping flags that no one could cap. Like literally one squad of 4 people could take on like 20 people coming in, blow up a tank, or one. If you don't think someone can make a difference, like go into a Battlefield game and there's one person on the enemy team who's really good with a chopper. Sure. That guy can sway the entire freaking match, dude.
Yeah, I got banned from a server one time. This is funny. This is how I ended up on a really good team in Battlefield 3. Was I had a server, because servers could be owned by independent people, right? So there was this there was a clan that had their own server, and it was one of my favorites because they had like my favorite maps in the rotation and favorite game modes, so I'd go there all the time. And sure enough, one night I was on the other team, and the guys that owned the server had like a full squad running on the opposite team. And I got in the attack chopper, and at that point I was one of the top 50 chopper pilots for kills in the game on my platform. That was the 360 at the time. And I was cleaning house. Like I was over 60 kills when suddenly I get hit with a ban, and I was kicked from the server. I was like, "What? You got to be kidding me!" They just like, did they think it was cheating, or why did they ban me? So I actually reached out to the guys, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, one of our dudes was just really salty." They ended up inviting me to join their clan. I ended up being an admin of that clan that I was initially banned from. And anyways, to speak to your point, we'd run in just like a small squad of 4 or whatever. And we just clean house, man. And you'd have like 100 kill games. That's the thing. Like this week in Destiny, I had a 52 kill streak, 52 kill game, right? And I was like, this is incredible. This is insane. And it took me, X number of years to do a 50 plus kill streak. But then I think about Battlefield and what you can do there. You'd have 80 kill games, 90 kill, 112 kill games.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've had like 100 plus kills in Battlefield easily. Like if nothing, it's hard to describe to people who don't play Battlefield, but like you'll go around the corner and there'll be legitimately like 12 to 20 people behind a piece of cover, like shooting over it, and you're standing there with your gun, you're like, oh crap, like, oh my god, and you start laying into them, you get as many as you can, maybe you get all of them, maybe you get like a half of them or whatever, but it's like the kill feed's just flying, dude. Like, and now with 128 people, like, that stuff is just gonna happen so much more.
That's right.
I will say I kind of worry, though, that they seem to really be increasing the map size. Like, the maps are comparable to like the Just Cause 3 map. Like one of the Battlefield maps is like as big as like the Just Cause 3 map, apparently. Like that's insane. So I worry, like, are they going too big with these maps? And so you have 128 people, but if they're all spread out over this massive map because they really wanted these big maps to be a selling point, then it gets boring.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you go ahead, Mikey. I'm talking a minute.
No, it's okay. I agree. Like, what if you're just like running through the bush for 5 minutes and like, all right, like where's the next person? I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
but
is everyone going to gravitate to vehicles in that case because like to get around? Like, I don't know.
Here's the thing: they're not stupid, and we've seen their big maps before, and I've never had a problem with being like, oh, it's been 5 minutes since I had a fight. One of the things they do really well is they're like, this area over here, there's a couple of objective points and a vehicle spawn location, and these are things people are going to fight for. So what they do is they just make sure that even though the map is big, they're trying to force fights in specific areas. If you want to avoid fights, you can avoid fights. You can play passive. You can be a sniper on ridges. But for the most part, if you're looking to get into fights, you're going to have no problem. Right. And when you die in Battlefield games historically, when you die, it's like, okay, well, I'll just pick this other spawn on the opposite side of the map, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever point your team is captured, you can choose to spawn there now. So you can get a different experience. So if you're on one corner of the map, things aren't going well, maybe you're getting stomped by a specific guy, and you're like, okay, I'm going to respawn over there. And suddenly, even though you're in the same match, it's a different game. Different landscape, different objective points, different enemy players that you're going up against. You know what I mean?
And just the ability to spawn off a squad mate changes everything, dude. That is like the most fun thing ever. You're like yelling, you're like, stay alive, just stay alive. And the guy's like hiding or whatever, and then everyone spawns off of him, and then you like fight out from there. I remember when Call of Duty Modern Warfare came out, Ground War, you could spawn off teammates, but then Black Ops came out, Cold War, and they had their version of Ground War. You can't spawn off teammates, and it just killed it. Like, it's such a worse experience to have to spawn back in the stupid like base and run all the way out and get back to the fight. Whereas like if you have a squad that's like in the action surviving, whoo, it feels so good.
Right. It's funny because I don't have any of these memories. I just was never a Battlefield guy. This is going to be like the first one that I jump in and really try. And
run with
will I love
TV.
it? I don't know. But I'm excited because like the spectacle is pretty insane. And I've started looking up some clips of like old Battlefields, and I'm like, damn. I played a little bit of the Battlefield 1, like the olden.
I remember you doing that. Yeah.
And like it was fine, but I just kind of found it boring for some reason. I think part of it was just the guns. Like it was all old-timey guns, and I just didn't like the sights. And like honestly, no meme, I thought the hit registration on that game was scuffed. There was like something wrong with it. For me at least, like I just didn't feel proper. Because like I can jump in any shooter game and kind of get a feel for it, but this one I'd be like, am I leading the shot too much? Am I not leading it enough? Like I really struggle.
The bullet drop, the bullet drop is a little getting used to if you come from a hit scan game, definitely. Yeah. But like when you are sniping someone like across the map and you like have to aim above their head and you see the bullet arc and hit them perfectly, you're like, yes.
Yeah, true. No, for sure. It's like a whole new skill set. But like even like Apex, you have to kind of lead your shots, and it has drop, and it's so much easier to like get used to that, I find. But I had a hard time with Battlefield.
I mean, it's definitely better. Like, I mean, with like Battlefield 1, it's like what attachments can you put on to limit recoil? Like you're wearing a World War I, putting on a vertical foregrip on your freaking bolt action. Like that's just not going to happen. But now, from the looks of it, you can, right? I do wonder the attachment system, like it only showed when the guy brought up his Chris Vector, and he had like 3 different scopes. So he had like iron sights, a red dot sight, and then a little maybe like an ACOG, a little bit of a longer range sight. And I'm like, geez, is that going to be it? Is it just showing us a little bit? Is there going to be like a scroll? Can you pick what options are there? Because in previous Battlefields, there was a lot more. Like, there are so many different optics, especially if you're looking at modern military optics. Like you have like higher zoom scopes, you have the dual, so you like the hammer sight where it's like a higher zoom scope and then there's a little mini red dot on top.
That's right.
Or like a holographic sight and you have a magnifier like that you can switch over and out. So you can so it's like
the canter sights too.
Canted iron sights at a 45-degree angle, all that stuff. So it's like those are all so cool. Are those going to be in the game? Or because they have this kind of in-game system where you only have a number of slots, are they going to kind of limiting the gun customization in favor of kind of other customization?
Right.
I wonder. Like, it's just kind of an interesting thing that I noticed. But I think
it
looks fantastic. Looks gorgeous. It really does look epic. The maps look huge. The weather effects, like that tornado... Yeah, that's gonna impact gameplay. Yeah. Like you're trying to fly, or you're using it for like cover. Your squad's trying to like come in, like just outside of where the tornado can suck you to like get around, and like no one knows you're there because they're trying to avoid it. Like
Then
It's
they
gonna
just
be
see an
really
attack
fun.
chopper come out from the silhouette of the.
You use the tornado
Yeah.
to fling you around like a freaking planetary orbit thing, like a spaceship. You get like flung out into the map with your attack helicopter so fast. Like imagine, dude. That'd be
This
so
for
much
me-
fun.
This for me is the top 3 of E3. It's in the top 3 for me.
Okay,
I'm
so
really excited about it.
that probably
100%.
answers my question. I wanted to ask both of you, and if you're watching live on YouTube here, are you more excited for Halo Infinite or Battlefield? I think I know the answer for both of you is Battlefield.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm more excited for Halo, but I don't have a ton of faith in it. It's like I hope it's as good as it could be. But I don't know. I feel like the shooters aren't as exciting to me right now for some reason. I don't know if it's burnout, but one that I was really hyped. We talked about it. I think 1 or 2 episodes ago.
Hold on,
What?
gamer. We can't move to the next topic.
Why
yet.
not?
Oh, well, let me tell you, gamer, because we're actually legit. We're moving up in the world, boys. This
Nice try.
podcast is sponsored by Manscaped and the Performance Package 4.0. Now listen, don't you dare fast forward this ad, because I'm telling you, your wife, your girlfriend, she will thank you for getting a Manscaped product, because the Performance Package 4.0 just came out. You got so much stuff here. Let me see. This is what it includes here, baby. Includes the Magic Mat disposable shaving mats, the Crop Reviver ball toner spray. You got the Crop Preserver, the anti-chafing ball deodorant. Listen, you don't want to shave, and you walk around, you chafe. It feels terrible. All right, this stuff keeps you feeling fresh. It also, you get the weed whacker nose hair trimmer, which is it's right here. You can trim your nose hair. You listen. I think they did a survey. No cap, where like 80% of people were like, "Yeah, nose hair is disgusting." I was like, "How is it not 100?" Clean your nose hair, you weirdos. And then this right here. This is the Lawnmower 3.0. Trash. Get this out of my goddamn sight, because we got the 4.0 lawnmower, baby. That's the newest one, and that's what it comes with. That's the 4.0 kit. It's on sale right now. You got this amazing leather,
It's
awesome
the shed.
travel thing. This is actually like, I just have it here. These two guys got the same package, and they put everything into that little thing.
Yep.
Yeah, it's called the shed. You put your tools in it.
Yeah, it's literally perfect for like traveling. So listen,
Absolutely.
if you use code, what they did is they looked at our podcast and they said, listen, whoever is saying the most stuff, that's who we give the code to. So obviously you use code KackisHD20. When you make your purchase, you get 20% off. You support us. And thank you, Manscaped, for sponsoring this podcast. Definitely, guys, you probably heard of Manscaped. They have a lot of great products, but the performance package, just in terms of bang for your buck, for getting a lot of stuff like the nose hair trimmer, and you get the 4.0 lawnmower, and you get the creams and ointments, all that stuff. Yeah. It's really a good deal. You get some bonus underwear too. Wait, I can't show you guys.
Those boxes are actually really nice.
We're gonna get demonetized if I show you guys, but yeah, they are really nice boxers. So definitely,
I will add. Truth be told, it is so nice to have a one-stop shop for all that stuff, and that stuff. Yep. I mean, it actually matters, especially as a married man. You guys noticed the new haircut, looking trim? Let me tell you, the carpets match the drapes, baby. We're looking trim all over. Okay. The hygiene
Dude,
matters. Take care of yourself.
I'm smooth. I'm running faster. I'm more aerodynamic. This is great, man. But definitely, manscaped.com. There'll be a link in the description as soon as this video goes live. But you can just head to Manscaped. Code KackisHD20 will get you the deal on the performance package 4.0. There you go. We're legit. Thank you to Manscaped. Let's move on.
Okay, so another game I'm really excited about, we talked about it a couple episodes ago, was Starfield. And I think we all said, like, yeah, maybe in a year or two, like in a couple of years, we'll like see the game or hear more.
Finally,
right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, by the way, it's like,
here's the trailer. Here's a full interview where we talk about some of the game mechanics. Yeah. And we're like, here's the release date. And everyone's like, wait, it's happening?
I feel like Microsoft bought Bethesda and came in and was like, how are we doing on Starfield? And they're like, oh, maybe like 3 more years. And Microsoft's like, no. No. This is coming out 2022, baby. We're going to make it happen.
I just can't believe that it's so soon. Because like I was honestly, I had no expectations for it. But if here's the thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Tinfoil hat. If this is coming out in 2022, that team, maybe they go finish up Elder Scrolls, the next one. You know, maybe they allocate some resources. Maybe they're at the end here, and now they got some more people putting some dragons in the game.
I don't know. As excited as I am about Starfield, and I am genuinely excited about that, it doesn't instill a lot of confidence with me as far as Elder Scrolls 6 goes. I just don't think that it's realistic to think that we're going to see that anytime soon. I really don't think so. You think about Starfield and the initial announcements about it and the conceptualization of it. This is a game that is, I mean, from its conception, 25 years old now. As far as how much actual like physical work has been done on it, I'd say you're probably, if I had to guess, knowing a little bit about what goes on behind the scenes with development, I'd say this game has probably been in the works for about 3-ish years in terms of hard physical development is concerned, not just world building and conceptualization. So I'm not feeling too confident about Elder Scrolls right now, but at least we have a massive scope, highly anticipated Bethesda RPG experience coming very soon, and that is a big deal because they are the biggest name in successful immersive RPGs of that scope.
Right.
I someone made a good point the last time, in a sense of they were like, well, for Fallout 4, they announced it and then released it like that year. Like they announced it in E3 and released it that same year in the fall, I believe. And I was like, huh. So Bethesda might have a little bit of a track record. Like maybe it doesn't like teasing its games. Maybe it's like, yep, it's here. It's coming out next year, right? See you then.
Right. When they're kind of closer instead of this huge
like
window.
Because it's kind of like Diablo almost like had to panic announce Diablo 4 because everyone was so pissed about Diablo Eternal, right? So like it's kind of a weird announcement. Like they're like, Diablo 4, here's some gameplay. You can see someone playing the game and it's like, yeah, not here literally anytime soon. Like see you in 2025, idiots. And you're like, geez, it's kind of hard to maintain that level of hype for so long.
Like Cyberpunk, we knew about it like 10 years ago. Like when I was born, there was a news article about Cyberpunk, and it's like one day we'll make this incredible game.
I guess though that did maintain the hype though, right?
I suppose.
Where it's something like Star Citizen, like I don't even know where that game's at. I have no clue.
That's a Ponzi scheme. That one's never coming out.
Yeah, I was keeping up with it, and I just lost interest because it's like, oh yeah, like. I don't care. Wake me when it's actually out, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe it is actually. I don't even know.
Now, speaking of Starfield, I am super hyped about that game. But did you guys play Outer Worlds? Because they also did the Outer Worlds 2 trailer. That game is fire. Like it's like kind of like Fallout. Really, good customization.
It's very tongue in cheek though. Like it's very like
Borderlands
kind of
meets Fallout. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love that game. And I mean, a second one, a sequel, Pog. I would love to see that. Will Starfield be better than that game? I don't know. I don't know what to expect. Because, like Outer Worlds or whatever, I thought that was really, really good. And if they can one-up that one, I think it's got like a 9 out of 10. Like pretty much anywhere it's rated is like 9 out of 10. It did very, very well. And if they can beat that...
Star Citizen, Pog. No, I agree. Like, that is... When's Outer Worlds 2 come out? 2022? Or 20?
I don't have all the dates. Don't have all the dates.
Yeah. Huh. Man, we'll like it's interesting. Like that's a really interesting one. Star Citizen, that's a huge game. And man, you brought up a good point about Elder Scrolls. Cuz it's like when is Elder Scrolls going to come out then? Cuz remember the first time they announced Star Citizen was also they had like just a little teaser where it's like, not Star Citizen, Starfall. No, not Starfall.
Starfield.
What am I saying?
Starfield.
So yeah, Jesus. So they said it just title card, Starfield. Literally, if you watch that show, exact same style of trailer, just showing the title card for the next Elder Scrolls. So, like, if they're teasing him at the same time? Are they maybe relatively close in development? Are they like gonna release another Elder Scrolls in 2023? Maybe.
If I had to guess, I would guess 2024 to 2025.
You think they're gonna be like a 2-year gap?
I hope I'm wrong, but that would be my guess.
Hmm.
I mean, I want Elder Scrolls today. I mean, my body has been ready for it for years.
I want it before my next children are born so that I don't have to neglect them, because I will neglect them for that game.
Yeah, honey.
Listen,
Sorry.
You're basically a single mother at this point for the next couple of months.
Until I beat the dragon.
Yeah, I did the pro strats. I had that vasectomy so that I don't have to worry about that. You know? I was like, I gotta prepare myself for.
That's a real gamer move right there.
Yeah, that is a real game. You ask about dedication to the gaming creed. There's one right there.
I shall remove thy seed.
I can focus on thy build.
Perfect. Okay, so let's move on to Gearbox. They had a couple little wins. The Tiny Tina game does look really interesting. I mean, we don't know a whole bunch about it yet. But
let's talk. I'm just saying, talk about the timeline, because the timeline is important.
Okay, yeah, fair.
So they revealed that Tiny Tina's Wonderland looks really interesting. It's a whole new game, and it's based off the Assault on Dragon's Keep Tiny Tina DLC,
which was arguably amazing.
The best DLC for Borderlands 2. Like, had fantasy vibes, and they're diving deep on that. They're making a whole game around it. So it's going to be Borderlands-esque, right? Based, it's a Borderlands offshoot game, but much more focused around, there's going to be a lot more melee combat, so you can have swords and maces and stuff. Still going to be like random roll. It's a looter shooter, but spells and melee, much more of a fantasy setting. So very similar to that type. But here's the important part. They gave this trailer before, like during Xbox's show. Before Gearbox's show. So when the Gearbox show came along, Gearbox got clowned on. Like, clowned on. Because they showed the exact same trailer for Tiny Tina's Wonderland that they already showed. And everyone's favorite CEO, Randy Pitchford, was like walking around the movie set. But, like, not really anything major was released. Like, how sweet would it have been to have one of the actors in full character dress up be there, be like, hey, guys, Kevin Hart shows up. I'm Roland, I guess. Like, and you're
I don't know why, but they said I got the job.
Yo, Kevin Hart's here dressed up as Roland. That's sick, right? None of that, as far as I know. And then they announced... what everyone was waiting in bated breath for. Halo Infinite, get out of here. Battlefield, no. They announced Godfall, everyone's favorite
Godfall 2?
Godfall, a game no one plays, is coming out for a console that's literally dying. They're making Godfall for the last gen consoles. It's like almost like the first ever announced E3 console or a game downgrade.
Right.
So, because it was a PS5 release game, and now they're like, if you still have a PS4, you can get the highly acclaimed Godfall. So everyone
please play it. Please.
Everyone just absolutely clowned on Gearbox, which I felt like was a little bit fair, a little bit unfair, because if they would have said Wonderland announcement for their own show, the hype would have been a lot more. Like a whole nother, Borderlands standalone game. Borderlands fans are gonna eat that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just not enough there.
Yeah,
it's like why are you having your own show if that's the case? Like, what?
100%.
What are you doing? Like, just tack it on with someone else. Tack it on somewhere else. I mean, they already did, essentially. They gave away 1/3 of their show.
Yeah,
or more,
exactly.
Like half their show. So it's like, what are you doing?
Why do you need your own slot? Like, that's
the question.
If you asked Microsoft, hey, we want to announce the Godfall downgrade, they'd be like, okay, we'll find a slot for that. Like, okay. Yeah. I don't understand why they didn't team up with Microsoft, team up with Sony, or just whoever. Just Like, why do you need your own show if you give away the biggest announcement, which was definitely wonderful, or Wonderland. That was the biggest. That was the biggest announcement by far.
Yeah, what they should have done is they should have doubled down on that game.
Yes,
and then in their slot, showcase something more. Talk about, you know, give us some more backstory. What's this game about? What's the reasoning behind it? Why do you guys love Tiny Tina? Why do we talk about her character and what's happening? Like, get Borderlands fans excited.
Dude,
oh yeah.
It blows my mind. Like, you spend probably millions of dollars to be at this show, and you can't have some dev go and get a 30-second gameplay clip of casting some spells in that game. It's like, dude, like, how could you not get? Is the game
even
like
concept art? People eat that up. Like, just show something, you know?
Yeah. Or like
even if it was game... like, even if it was like the polygons, like they're not even finished animations. People literally don't care. They're like, oh, you can cast a spell. There'll be 50 videos oh, spells confirmed in Tiny Tina. Like, 100%. People just want to know what they're getting into because, like, at least for me, that feeds into the hype. When I saw Starfield, like, they did talk about it more, but until I see some gameplay, it's hard for me to, like, conceptualize, would I like a game like this? Because the thing is like, with Starfield, if it's flying around in space 90% of the time, I won't like that game. I won't, unfortunately. But if it's like landing on a planet, going and fighting, then it's a very different story. You know what I mean?
It's gonna be a shooter RPG. It's like,
Someone made a good point. They said Randy's ego is way too big to not have a presentation. Oh, and it's the thing. Yeah, Randy just funded it from his stolen money from everyone's 401ks. So he's like, oh, well, hell yeah, I have enough to do a show. What do you mean? Oh my god, like, dude, that was bizarre. Like, it just seems so unnecessary. Even like, it's like they killed their own hype. Like, everyone would be talking about the new Borderlands game, but now everyone's just talking about their disaster of a.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they had, not only was their show incredibly underwhelming, but it's being viewed side by side with Battlefield 2042, Elden Ring, Starfield, and then it's like,
dude, it's like
that.
Yeah, it's like, all right, guys, let's say bye to Microsoft and Bethesda. Okay, now next up on stage we have Randy and Gearbox. And you're like, what the hell? It's like, it doesn't even compare. It's like you're in a high school talent show with like Bon Jovi. It's like, all right, Bon Jovi, right. Thanks. And next up, Michael Tash. And you're like, what the
here's a song I wrote.
Yeah.
This is Wonderwall.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Like, what are they thinking? Just tack it on. Someone just Randy, just next time email Microsoft and say, hey, can we show our couple trailers? They'll be like, yeah, okay.
Speaking of some interesting fails, Nintendo had a pretty good showing, but they kind of killed their hype too, and they got in a bit of drama with Twitch. So like 30 minutes before their showcase, they're like, oh yeah, by the way, yeah, you're not allowed to restream or show any of this. Like, we will copyright strike you. We will smite your channel if you do it.
Which is not out of character.
No, bro,
they would have.
They won't even give you.
They claimed Twitch.
Yeah,
they
they're
insane. People at the ready on Twitch, ready to start taking stuff down. I guarantee it.
And so they do that, and all these content creators are like, what? So we can't restream this? We've been streaming all of E3, yada, yada, yada. And then Twitch claps back and is like, yeah, we're not even going to show their show. We're not even going to show it. If you're going to treat, creators like this, we're not doing it. Talk about shooting yourself in the foot. Having Twitch just be like, all right, fine. Then we're not going to show your entire showcase. Now, the word gets out because it's Nintendo. It's almost like they're too big to fail. But
dude, literally, it's like everyone's just talking about Nintendo. It's like I said, like Nintendo does this dick move. Like, dude, it's annoying because it's like, what
it's copyright marketing.
What copyrights are you trying to protect? You're in the purpose of the show. Nintendo, please, someone in the Japanese headquarters of Nintendo, please be paying attention to this podcast, I swear, and give it to your boss. The purpose of E3 is to let people know about your upcoming games. If more people stream it, more people are gonna know about it. Like who at Nintendo is like, that's our gameplay, idiots. Like we're are they?
Why are you revealing it then? Like, what are you doing? Why are you revealing it to the world if you want it to be a secret? Like, dude, are you scared someone's gonna like swear or trash talk one of your trailers? Like, what is it? It's I don't know.
It's bizarre. So weird. But the funniest thing is like everyone's still talking about the Breath of the Wild 2, and it honestly feels like Nintendo just comes and like spits on their customers. It's like yeah, you like
simps
that?
Anyways. It's just like, oh
yeah, exactly. Nintendo. It's like, you like that Breath of the Wild 2? Slaps him across the face.
You
like it?
Here's a little Metroid now. Everyone's just like, oh, they can't believe it. And I mean, even me, I am excited for Metroid. I really like that series. I want people to buy Metroid so that they make future Metroids.
Being a Nintendo fan. Being a Nintendo fan is being in an abusive relationship. Like, honestly, they smack. No one can stream this game. If you even think about making content, you have any sort of slight sounds of our music when you're playing Mario Kart, channel gone. Delete your channel. Here's Breath of the Wild 2, though, you sexy little, and they just throw you Breath of the Wild 2, and like, you like that, don't you? And you're like, I do like it.
We're just discussing Nintendo, and then all of a sudden, yeah,
exactly.
Stream shut down.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, black them out.
Someone's at the door. What?
It's so. It's
the ninjas, like the Nintendo ninjas come in and just start rumble a little.
They come and they punch you in the face and they punch your wife and then they leave behind a calling card with a little screenshot of the Metroid and it's like, hey gamer.
Yeah, this is coming out soon and I'm like, awesome.
Yeah,
amazing.
No.
Yeah, it's just honestly bizarre, but people were excited about a lot of the games.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, a lot of them are bangers. Like, it's hard to deny. Breath of the Wild was amazing, and the second one, I'm guessing, will be just as good, if not better. I hope it is. And so, what?
I'm gonna hate on something.
Yep.
And Nintendo fans are probably gonna crucify me for it, but I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna be honest. Breath of the Wild, that's pretty freaking exciting. That's some cool stuff, right? Great game. Okay. Metroid. Can I talk about Metroid here for a second? I'm not sold.
I could care less about this game. I was like side scroller.
This game was scrapped in 2005 because they lacked the technical support they wanted for the game. And now, I mean, what they showed us visually looks really stunning, but I want Metroid Prime. I want the next Metroid Prime. That is the story. And here's the thing. Those stories don't actually... The side-scroller story, the 2D story, and the Prime story, they don't really intersect. And we don't anticipate that they will. I am interested in Prime. I love that first-person exploration shooter experience. And Prime was it for me. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I'm not excited about this one. While the story, I think, could be intriguing, and I think it's really cool for the people that like that side-scroller style, the 2D style, I'm excited for them, but I have zero excitement.
Yeah, it's like, are you a Mega Man fan? Like, are you a Mega Man fan? Then you probably like Metroid, but if you're a Mega Man fan, you probably like Mega Man more than Metroid, because Metroid at times can be pretty clunky. Like in a lot of the games, like the aim is here, and then you can change the angle. But I always found that the movement in Metroid wasn't that great. Like, if you go watch a speed run of Mega Man, those guys are nuts. Like, it's actually insanity what they can do. And I mean, obviously there's some tech you could do with Metroid. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. It just,
I mean, it's like, dude, if there's nothing wrong if you're a Metroid fan, right? People like that, but I see the Battlefield trailer and there's like helicopters exploding in a tornado. It's so epic. And then cut to Metroid, your little like side scroller. Oh, you can turn into a ball, zoop, 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 and you like go around there. It's like, I literally could care less. I'm not interested in that style of game. I like it, but it's coming out on Switch, right? And it looks like it could even like be a mobile game.
It looks like it could even run the game potentially on Switch.
I guarantee you my phone could run that game. Because the Switch is such a... I mean, it's a
Switch
joke
is a cell
performance-wise.
phone.
I mean, it's a cool console for what it does, but it's in terms of like performance for what I want out of a Metroid Prime game. I don't know that the Switch could even handle that.
Honestly,
For what I would want out of the experience.
Yeah, I know.
honestly,
right?
at this point, Nintendo should just port all their games to mobile, and you can play on a controller. And like, yeah, they won't sell as many consoles if they do that.
You
but
can't
like,
even stream the game. There's no freaking way you are gonna play a Nintendo game on anything other than an official Nintendo product. I think maybe they did like one Mario game. I think you can have
Yeah.
Mario Kart.
they have a
but it's
couple
like,
mobile, like there was like a
but
Super Mario Bros.
It's
one.
rare. It's
This game-
rare.
This game, Dread, was initially supposed to be a DS game. I mean, if that puts things into perspective for you. Like when
So
they
they,
were
like-
originally
they're
conceptualizing
like, oh
what
my
the game was
gosh.
going to be like.
They're like, we've been spending all our resources DMCA claiming small YouTubers and streamers. No one's working on games. They go into the basement of Nintendo and dredge up this freaking project and
Yeah.
resurrect it. Like, what the hell?
Like this week, I bought a 3080 Ti, and then I see this Metroid 2D side scroller, and I'm just like,
You're like, okay.
And
And then you see, then you see Battlefield, then you see Halo, and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
this looks
like,
so sick.
I want to see my character model's reflection in the eyes of my enemies as
Yeah,
I murder them with my
exactly.
3080.
right.
You know, like
It-
ray tracing on the blood flying through the air, like of the
Dude,
raindrops.
Nintendo hasn't even heard of the phrase ray tracing. If you went and said ray tracing in front of a Nintendo executive, they'd be like, "What,
Bro,
Like,
Rayman?
what are
bro,
You
talking
want
about?"
another Rayman game? Is
They
that-
don't
Yeah,
even know
Rayman?
what Rumble is. They don't even know what internet is, brother. They still,
Yeah, exactly.
They're still sending faxes, and they're sending stuff by Dove, and
They're
they're
like,
like,
yeah,
we'll
exactly,
get
the
an answer in a
message-
couple weeks.
Yeah, they're like, the messenger pigeons have arrived for like, oh my gosh.
Truly,
Oh man.
Someone's like, people really diss Nintendo that much? That's the point.
They're
Someone in the
evil.
chat's like, he's like, geez, people really diss Nintendo that much? I just enjoy playing their games. That's exactly what we're saying. Their games are solid. A lot of their games are fantastic. They're fun. Like, I mean, I bought Pokemon Snap. I enjoyed it. Is it a full game? No, dude. It's like, we complain about a Destiny season. Nintendo, like, or Pokemon Snap, you're on like rails and you just take pictures of Pokemon that have like the same routes every time. But my point is, like, Nintendo does so much. For people who don't know, Nintendo does so much sus stuff for the community. To give you the best example, they had an official Nintendo Splatoon tournament for $20, and they
hey,
not
it was
even
20.
$20,
It was
Hey,
25.
25 in-game dollars, and they didn't even award it to the winners. They gypped the winners out of 25 Nintendo bucks. Like what? Like, what the hell is this company, dude?
I also want to be clear and go on record to say I'm not saying Dread is going to be a bad game. I think it's going to be a bad game, or that any side scrolls are bad games. Because God knows I've played a ton of them and I loved a lot of them.
We just don't care.
But it's just not where my interest is right now. I would prefer to see. Honestly, I would kill for a Metroid Prime 4 now. I would kill for another Metroid Prime game that I can run on my PC. I'd kill for that.
Yeah, but it's never gonna happen.
Okay,
But
well,
it's
never gonna happen.
gonna happen.
we haven't talked about my biggest winner of E3 yet, though. We haven't talked about it.
What is it?
Now I'm wondering. Well, what about Elden Ring then? Is that up on?
Elden Ring is my top 3.
That's up your
Battlefield
alley?
2042, Elden Ring, Starfield. Those are my top 3.
Okay.
Am I gonna get hate for saying that I didn't think it looked that good?
Yeah,
Like,
I love that fantasy style.
the thing
Man,
is,
that
though,
was
is
I
like
love the style.
graphically, it looks like an Xbox 360 game in some scenes. 100%.
Yes, thank you.
But-
I was like,
but-
dude, this looks literally like what's it?
Like Dark
what
Souls
the heck,
1 and
Demon
2?
Souls? It looks like Dark Souls 3. It like graphically, if
Yeah.
you compare it, it doesn't look that much better than Dark Souls 3.
It almost
right?
looked worse in some places. It truly did. But here's the thing: is I don't think that the people that want to play that game even care. It's more the scope of the game. It's like, oh, you want Dark Souls, but you also want Sekiro? Okay, here you go. You know, like or Ghost of Tsushima, like you're riding your horses through open fields. It's like an open world Dark Souls. And I think
I still play that game. And it doesn't look all that great because it was made for 360.
right.
Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. I do it because the RPG elements and the fantasy elements are S+ tier.
Yeah, no, I just like it kind of caught me because I was like, I just expected the game to look. Honestly, the Dark Souls remake that launched with PS5 looked better than Elden Ring graphically, and
Right.
it just kind of caught me off guard because I was like, Elden Ring has like you said, you're like, is that dude? Last show, you were like, is that game even real? Right? You're like, is
Yeah.
that game even real? And it's like, so they've been just like gone doing God knows what. And then I expected them to come out and it looked like so sharp, like completely next gen graphics, but it just doesn't, which is like fine if they're going to invest in other areas. Like it certainly looks like a sprawling big game, but I'm also kind of annoyed that it's like from George R.R. Martin. And I'm like, get this guy the hell out of this game and let him finish the stupid book that he's been working on for years. I need to know how Game of Thrones ends. You do not need to be going.
I knew you were going here.
Good, like get off of Elden Ring, dude. George R.R. Martin, get the hell out of here. Go finish your stupid book and get out of Elden Ring, you jerk.
After that series, like I don't even care anymore. They ruined it for me, and I just I've given up.
I know. Maybe the book though.
Maybe the book,
if it ever comes out.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Elden Ring is gonna be, if they nail it, like if it's just a bigger Dark Souls, it could be one of my favorite games of all time because I love all the Dark Souls games, Bloodborne, every single one of them. And you know, I looked at some of the bosses and it looked fire. I saw some spells being cast. I saw some really cool armor. And one day I would love like a MMO type game with that combat. Like, you know, iframe dodging, very difficult bosses, but you could learn them. And like, you know, the first few times you're gonna get smashed until you learn their like their movesets and everything.
And yeah,
right. I would love a game like that you have to kind of focus for each boss, but I just don't know if it'll ever get there. Because like honestly, I feel like there are a lot of games, like even Elden Ring, it's gonna have a big audience, but is it gonna be as big as like Battlefield? It probably won't because people are terrified of Dark Souls games.
I don't like those style of games. It's like I hate the like, oh, the boss like is like it's literally just smack. The boss is like, oh, I'm gonna swing, and you're like dodge. It's like every boss is the same to me. It's like they're reskinned and they have slightly different attacks, but it just breaks down to smack, dodge, smack, dodge. That's it.
Bro, you play Destiny.
You can win every boss fight like that. Yes, I know I played Destiny.
Atheon is like
shut up.
Go. That's all. But Atheon is a raid boss.
But at least you actually have to do something, send people in a teleport into the confluxes and communicate and stuff. Like I'm not hating on this game because I know there's a lot of people who love that, and I know it has very deep, like kind of more deep than I thought originally, like builds and stuff like that. But I don't like that style of combat. I've never been a fan of it. I like more the very fantasy style, almost like a World of Warcraft type of thing where you're like casting spells and casting defensive spells and all this stuff. If I do like a game like that, so I just don't like the games focused around the dodge button. That's just me.
One of the games in that genre that I like the most is the Ninja Gaiden series, and one of the reasons I like that the most is because kind of what you're talking about is you feel like every boss engagement is the same. With the Gaiden series, one of the things they do really, really well is that there's tons of different weapon types, and they have their own combos, their own strengths, their own weaknesses. So
that sounds
the range that you changes based on what weapon you have. The timing of your attacks changes dramatically based on whether you're using the giant scythe from the werewolf or if you're using, the size, and you're up close and personal. And that's what I really love that series, and I think it's a little underappreciated.
Dude, I know there's huge. I'm not hating on anyone who like these games. You can't say these days. You can't say I don't like this style of game. People take it as like a personal attack. Listen, I never said you shouldn't buy Elden Ring. I'm just not super excited for it. I'd love to see more. If it kind of comes out that it has a lot more RPG elements and kind of build crafting elements, and something that did strike me from the trailer is you see someone cast a big spell, right? You see someone like Kamehameha someone almost. And I was like, okay, if you're telling me that it's not all just dodging bosses and maybe you can a magic build, yeah, there's still going to be a little bit of dodging, but you kind of have different play styles. I'm much more interested in that all of a sudden, right?
Right. And like,
but like
a good
a lot of
archer
those
build
games
would be pretty sweet.
Yeah,
I feel like
I would love
archers in
that.
the Dark Souls games have always been kind of like
It always
like
breaks
second,
down. Yeah,
second
It's
best, like
smack,
not good, or not even
dodge.
second best. They're like always the worst. They're like super clunky.
Yeah.
I would love if they could really work on that for Elden Ring.
Yeah,
and then you
yeah.
have the triangle of different.
Yeah.
You know.
It just seems like there's like 5 different games built around smacking and then dodging away from attacks and then smacking and then dodging away from attacks like over and over again until the boss is dead.
Right. I think you just don't have the patience for it.
No, I don't. 100%. I don't like it because I suck at it and I don't want to do it. Like, I'm not going to verse a boss for 45 minutes to get like the ring of power. I just don't care, dude.
Yeah. Someone said Dark Souls doesn't have magic. ... What game are you playing, brother?
I think you might be confused.
I think you must be playing a different game. Okay. Was there any other kind of games that caught your eye? Lost Ark was one that they kind of announced and said it's coming. It's like a Diablo-esque MMO. That one definitely has some potential. I'm excited for it. We'll see.
I will say another one that I thought was interesting because I love Sea of Thieves. Was the Sea of Thieves Pirates of the Caribbean crossover?
Jack Sparrow crossover.
And there's it looks like there's a butt ton of content in that, and that's pretty exciting to me.
And you played lots of Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, a buddy of mine's on the dev team. Real nice dude named Rich Cousins. Great guy. But anyways, yeah, we're big fans of that game. Me and my wife and our friends from college. We've spent what do we have in that? We're probably up to about 500 hours in Sea of Thieves now. Played a ton of it. So I'm pretty excited about that one.
Someone said Forza, the new Forza Horizon.
Ooh, Forza Horizon.
It looks cool. Couldn't care less. I don't know. Like, I don't have time to play these games. Like, I'm just like not gonna have time to get into it. I've played some Forza Horizons. They're sick. Rainbow Six Extraction. I feel like that's more for Rainbow Six fans because it's all the same characters. Like they're using the same characters from the base Rainbow Six Siege game, if I'm not mistaken. So
okay, really quick question. Were you impressed with E3 overall this year? What did you feel like it was lacking? What did you guys think?
I enjoyed it. I thought for me personally, it was like it took me back to 10 years ago, where I see a show and there's a ton of new titles, and I'm like taking notes, like, oh, this game, this game, and now I'm excited about a lot of titles that I have release dates for. I've got trailers for. I can go to a dozen different YouTube channels and look at some frame-by-frame breakdowns and see what I missed in these trailers. I was really excited about it.
Yeah.
I agree that there were some banger games, but yeah, it's interesting. I think it was... Yeah, I saw a lot of people like hate on E3. I thought there were some great games, but I wonder, like, a lot of the hype is in those major games. And I just kind of wonder, like, dude, if here's what I wonder about that. If Battlefield just picked a weekend, not an E3, just a weekend or a Saturday, announced it on its Twitter feeds, announced it everywhere, and just had the Battlefield reveal on that one day, separate of E3, would the hype be any less? I don't think so. Like,
yeah, it would.
You think so?
Oh yeah, because then who's gonna come watch it?
All the Battlefield fans. I guess.
Exactly. But you get the whole gaming community excited and
not
together.
Nintendo. You don't get Nintendo.
Spot.
You're not allowed to have Nintendo there.
But my point is, you get the gaming community together in one place,
point.
and they're not just there to look at a shooter, and they're like, "Oh, hold up, this Elden Ring game kind of looks interesting." You know what I'm saying? And you hit a broader audience, and that's, of course, all of your Battlefield fans. They're there. They're going to be there regardless. So. Yeah. I think it's still worthwhile.
There's one good one from Dave there. Guardians of the Galaxy game. I mean, looks kind of goofy. We'll see.
Kind of.
My kids were excited about that one. They're Guardians fans.
So do you think, though, hold on, TV, with that same logic, do you think Destiny should have got something together and showed something off? Like, they desperately need some new players right now. Show off a banger teaser trailer.
It wouldn't hurt to literally brand it Destiny the Witch Queen and show, I mean, I just think they weren't ready. But I think it wouldn't have been
not.
It certainly wouldn't have hurt to show something and show some cinematics and because here's the thing, like if people who are not Destiny players see, like for example, some of the Saint 14 clips from this recent cinematic,
they're gonna be like, yo.
They'd be like, yo, who's this guy? He looks hardcore. Look, he's got these tassels. He's like dragging some alien into a bubble. Like that looks pretty hardcore.
You talk to people who haven't played in like a long time, and they don't even know what's changed. You're like, yeah, there's like new subclasses. They're like the people like literally haven't played since snipers and shotguns were heavies. Like they haven't played since then, right? They have no clue what's going on.
Here's what Bungie's got to do better. They've got to do this better. They have some freaking cool protagonists and antagonists in their game. What they've got to do, and they're telling stories very, very well this season and last season, by the way, but they've got to deliver in terms of these like cinematic experiences. I know that those are expensive to produce. I totally get that. But if you go out in E3 and you show freaking Quoria, the Taken Vex Mind, and Savathun behind, like the silhouette of Savathun, and people are seeing these antagonists, and they're like, holy cow, that looks really cool. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and then a voiceover, yeah.
Yeah, like
Quoria, the Taken Mind can control reality itself. You're like,
people are like, what is this? And so
that's going on right now. Play now. Destiny 2 Season of the Splicer. This is happening right now in game.
Like, people would get excited about that.
I feel like
you see Mithrax, you see Mithrax, the Fallen with this, multiple arms and his splicer gauntlet. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some real freaking cool stuff in Destiny.
Do you? I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but like, I feel like with the community, like the gaming community. Like, I know about Apex, and I know all the characters of Overwatch. I know Call of Duty, and I might not play them, but, like, I know about them. But I feel like with Destiny, the people that don't play Destiny, they're like, oh, that's that Destiny game, and, like, there's something going on there, but they're like, so disconnected from it. Do you know what I mean? Like, at any one moment in time, I kind of understand what's going on in CSGO, in League of Legends, like, all these different games. But no one that doesn't play Destiny watches Destiny. No one... cares about Destiny. They're just like, oh, that's that Destiny game. It's off on its own. I'm not even gonna try it. I'm not even gonna consider it. It's weird.
Those Activision marketing dollars dried up, right? And a lot of the games you mentioned, Overwatch, Activision Blizzard, like the Activision marketing department is a very well-funded machine.
You remember like some of the Taken King cinematics?
Oh my god!
Oryx with his big sword.
Yeah,
dude, the trailers with like Cade getting killed and stuff. You're like,
yeah,
it's fantastic. But I mean, it's kind of hard for Bungie to justify prioritizing that when they can't even add a PvP map. You know what I mean? So I mean, maybe there's bigger priorities in the game. But I agree. I think that maybe they need to make sure that they're getting their messages across as to what's going on in this game. Because yeah, there's an incredibly cool story stuff going on.
Do you think though it's like one of those veteran games where it's like, well, I'm not gonna start playing now. Like for me, like I'm not gonna start playing World of Warcraft. I'm never gonna start playing World of Warcraft. I went and tried Classic, but I'm never gonna jump in and play Warcraft because it's like I'm not catching up on all that. I'm so far behind. There's so many games like that, and I wonder, has Destiny been around long enough now that some people have dabbled? They played the first one, maybe they didn't love it. And then they played the second one, and they did not like it a lot. And now they've moved on, and they feel like they're too far away, and they just...
Could be, dude. Like, I disagree, though. I think, like, anyone can pick up Destiny and realistically get a pretty decent functioning build, get some good exotics, and be good to go in about a week, right? Like, you're going to be missing out on some great mods and some really cracked exotics and stuff like that, but, like, it's really not too hard to go and do some exotic cipher quests. Get a Wardcliff coil. There's your PV, or like get something really, get the Hawk Moon, or get the Ace of Spades. Boom, there's your PvP weapon. Or get the Sturm. There's your PvP weapon. Get a few. Like, it's really not too hard to get a functioning build together. But like you said, it just appears more daunting than it is.
Do you want to know the one thing I was just thinking of? Ninja messaged, or he like tweeted the other day, and he's like. It was a picture of Tilted Towers or Twisted Towers or whatever the hell it was,
Mhm.
and he's like,
Yeah,
I saw that tweet.
it's 2018, like people are just getting into Fortnite, you're dropping here, you know, like kind of that nostalgic
It's
thing.
good. Yeah.
Here's what I'm wondering: like when Fortnite was going on, how many clips did you see where someone was rocket riding or a funny thing happens? People were like sharing that hype. Look at every Destiny content creator's Twitter feed. 95% of it, this game needs to change this. This is a problem. Cheaters, like maybe people don't try the game because number one, lack of marketing, but then they get interested and they're like, oh, let's check it out. And every content creator is just roasting the game. You know, it's eating itself from inside. And there's not enough new people to come in and like breathe light. Maybe there's not enough content, but it's just this machine that keeps churning and churning and churning, and it's chugging along, but
yeah.
I don't know, not efficiently maybe. I don't know.
But also like Bungie does a shit job of sharing that hype. Like they retweet some art stuff every once in a while. Okay, like why aren't you paying for advertisements on Instagram promoting that art? Like there should be actual paid here's what's going on in the Destiny community, right? And you can obviously target it for other gamers, like, and people will be like, "Oh, I remember Zavala. Yo, that's a sick picture. What's going on with State 14? Who's Mithrax? Let me look this up." Like, and promoting clips. Like, there's some dope Destiny clips never gets promoted. Like, there's like the meme, right? That the movie of the week is like 2 decent snipes, right?
Yeah.
And it's like that's like just been memed on, right? And it's like, well, there's some dope seventh columns and stuff, and some insane plays, and some insane raid saves, and like Bungie just has it in a little thing, and then gives someone an emblem. Promote that, like actually promote that.
The only people they ever show that stuff to
is already Destiny fans.
It's people who read the TWAB.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's the people who are diehard Destiny fans. So none of that ever breaks the bubble. Never reaches out into the rest of the community. That's absolutely right. And there's a lot of really dynamic stuff that can happen in Destiny. That's one of the things that keeps me coming back to it, is the play potential, both in PvE and in PvP, where you craft a cool build together and you do something really cool, and there's big explosions, and it's dope. And you've got Shaxx in the background going, what? How? You know? And it's like, get that out there. Let people get excited about Destiny. But I think you're right. They never seem to breach that barrier and allow that content to osmose into the rest of the gaming community.
How hard would it be to like make an ad? You take the Frostbolt clip when he's like, okay, it's like a new Destiny raid has arrived.
The first one is first,
right?
The
and he's
second
like,
one is second.
And he's like, he's the first one is first, and he's like, what? And then like smash cut to like, for example, just like my TikTok, where I'm like, this whole argument's dumb. Just go to back and switch perspectives. And then it's like smash cut to someone else. It's like 1, 2, 3, and everyone's like has their different arguments, right? And then it's like, how are you gonna take on this challenge? Raid available now, free to play for all players.
Yeah.
No cost. Put that on Instagram. Put that on YouTube. Put that on Twitter. It's gonna cost you nothing, Bungie. You can put out one good ornament, and all the proceeds used to fund this one commercial. You would like just get so much hype. Show it to people who aren't Destiny players. You guys are right. The only people that see this stuff are people that already care about Destiny, and it's like you're not attracting new players.
No, there's no way. And it's like,
you can't only be focused on player retention. You got to be focused on expansion. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's literally what I was going to say. Is like all of the focus is on keeping, well, I mean, I suppose keeping players happy. Like it's not like they're adding maps and stuff, but like they keep making so many mistakes, and then they fix those mistakes, and it's not actual progress. It's not like changing the game over and over again and exciting people. It's like all of us are just kind of dealing with it, and we're not hyped. Well, like if there was overwhelming hype like Forsaken, people are talking about it and sharing it, and there's like a big quest going on and a new raid, and we're all excited about exotics. I think it's a very different vibe. But I'm just wondering, have they repeatedly messed up that people have lost faith in the game? Are they pulling a Halo? Because we talked about that at the very beginning. Is like, Halo 2, Halo 3, Pog. And then Halo Reach, Halo 4, Halo 5, people start skipping it. Are people skipping on Destiny? And
okay, I think though that most of the time they do add progress. You said Forsaken, banger. Shadowkeep, pretty decent too. Remember, Shadowkeep introduced Armor 2.0, which was way better, way better of a system, right?
And a new dungeon. Yeah.
New cracked dungeon, and that generated a pretty decent amount of hype. It wasn't as much, but then like Beyond Light introduced progress too, but you couldn't see it. The progress Beyond Light introduced was they got it out on next-gen consoles, which was huge, and I guarantee that took up a crap ton of development cost, right? In fact, one time, I remember saying this on Twitter, and a Bungie dev because I said, like, I guarantee so much time was dedicated to making these next-gen versions that some of the other stuff must have suffered. And a Bungie dev, I won't say who, he liked my tweet, and it popped up, and I think he unliked it, because he was like, oh, I probably shouldn't, right? But like I guarantee that's what happened. And like look at Cyberpunk. They're not even getting out their next gen version this freaking year, dude. Like clearly,
dead.
So, but like, I think that was the progress. But if you're on PC, you don't even notice that progress, right? It doesn't even matter to you. So the gameplay progress wasn't there, and then Stasis was a big swing and a miss. That ruined PvP for so long, and I think that they really need to get things back on track with Witch Queen. It sounds like they are. Just the fact that they're willing to delay it to a huge delay until February, or around that February time. We don't actually know it's February, but it's like that January, February, March, Q1. So until then, that to me says like they're taking a lot of time, and when it comes out, it's going to be hopefully a banger, because they don't need to do as much back end stuff. They did some big engine upgrades with Beyond. They did some big engine upgrades with Beyond Light as well.
Yeah, that's right.
But they also took away a bunch of planets, and they took away a bunch of people's gear. So here's my thing is like, so have they burned people so many times that like they need not just like one season, they need like 2 years of just quality where everyone's like, this is a good game. Because I feel like for the past 7 years, the amount of time that has unanimously been like everyone's hyped is like 15 to 20%. So like the average person out there, they just assume the game is shit. And like whenever someone brings it up or like mentions it in a Twitch chat, people are like, that game exists? Like it's such a do you know what I mean? It's just this weird perception around the game. People
have been saying that Fortnite is dead for the past God knows how many years, and that's just not true. Every game is dead other than the game you play, right?
That's fair.
Except for Destiny players will call Destiny dead all the time as like an inside joke. But like
we're our own breed of gamer.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you, Tasha, but I think if you really think about it, the stumble was Beyond Light. Because Season of Arrivals, people were in pretty good spirits. People enjoyed Season of Arrivals. You had
maybe not the PvP community, but yeah, PvE.
I mean, enjoyed it more than they enjoyed Stasis. But all the pyramid ships arrived, and everyone was like excited for the next big thing. The Fallen Guillotine was fun as hell. The new dungeon, the free-to-play dungeon, was sick. Prophecy
was dope.
Like you were actually pretty good standing, and then Beyond Light ruined everything. And then what was that? Like Season of the Chosen was fine, and this season's better than fine. But
the people that are excited about Fallen Guillotine and the ships rising, what percentage of them are even new players? That's the thing. Is like. Is it like 1%? Like, are the people that are excited, are they just returning people? And I'm wondering, is it a situation where, if they just slap a 3 on Destiny, all of a sudden people are like, oh, new game, refresh everything, I can catch up, kind of like the World of Warcraft problem. I'm not going to play WoW. But if there was like World of Warcraft 2, like maybe. But I don't know.
The problem is like if they made Destiny 3, Bungie would need to they really wouldn't be able to make more seasons. Like it's not like they can make seasons and make Destiny 3. So it's going to be
2 years.
The last season, 2 years, and then Destiny 3.
Right.
This trouble surviving with constant content flow. They just can't do it. So I think these major expansions are a good time to like bring people in, like refresh the game. So Witch Queen better be a banger. Like if it's not, this game's in trouble.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe the new game will be good though.
They got they got to advertise with Witch Queen, like jump right in play the Witch Queen now. Even if you've never played Destiny, you can jump right in and experience this new content right now. They got to communicate that, because otherwise people are going to be like, well, how much of the game do I need to play in order to get ready to do this new concept? You know what I mean?
They had to push it back into 2022, yeah?
Yeah,
Is it-
beginning 20.
It is.
I said February. It's Q1, so like January, February, March, maybe April. April seems pushing it. January, February, March. Split the difference. February. That's my call. That's what I think is most likely. So
Okay. Any other
Alright.
big games or topics?
Well, I think considering we used up all our after dark time ranting about Destiny,
Yeah,
maybe we should stop doing that.
But it was great.
It was great. Maybe we should let's do like 5 minutes of after dark. Just we'll push it over to you guys watching. So at the end of the podcast, we like to do the segment Real Gamer Hours After Dark, and it's where we just pick up questions from the chat. Obviously, we prioritize people who are channel members. If you want to become a channel member, you can click the link in the chat. Mtashed is going to post it a bunch. It's like $5 a month or whatever it is. It supports us. We use the funds mostly to pay our editor and get new emotes. And speaking of, you get access to all the cracked emotes that we have here on the channel if you become a member. So definitely consider doing it. And just ask away, what do you guys think is like the biggest games from E3? What do you think Destiny need to do? Someone made a comment about Forge mode. I think that's just not possible. Just the way Destiny is built, it's an MMO. Like you just can't have a Forge mode. It doesn't work like that. You can't. It's so impossible, right? They had to delete planets because they couldn't handle the stuff going on. Now you have people making custom maps and sharing them and downloading them. It just can't work. It would be cool. It's just no way it would work.
Yeah, it's not feasible. That'd be years, literal years of development to make something like that implemented into Destiny 2.
Yeah. That's what, like, I always hate when people say sparrow racing. I always thought sparrow racing was a gigantic waste of time.
Of resources and time, yeah.
Because it comes for like 3 weeks and it's fun. It's fun, but then it goes away. And then all the sparrow racing people ask for it for another 3 years. And it's like that development time could have gone into making PvP maps, new guns, like all this crazy, awesome stuff. And instead it goes into something that's gone. I mean,
conversely, if they kept it around for more than a few weeks, the playlist would die because
no one would care about sparrow racing. Exactly.
No one would care anymore. So the people who like it wouldn't be able to find a match.
Yeah, but maybe add though 3 maps, sparrow racing. It's like, dude, if you're right, not many people would play it. But guess what? They have private mode Gambit. So no one's playing that. Might as well add sparrow
doing tournaments
racing.
Every day.
Shut up. Right?
I am.
Yeah, aside from Gambito Crime Family, no one's playing Gambit private matches, right? So
Wait, is that a clan or something?
That's a clan. Every time I play Gambit, I run into them, and I hate to say it, they are yoked at Gambit. Like you verse them. We've beat them a couple of times if they're like single or double queuing. But you do not want to see them in the Gambit playlist. You're like, I'm gonna like get spawn sniped if I go in there try to invade. Like I know I am. It's just, dude, it's just kind of funny. I always thought they're hilarious. Like people who've dedicated their lives to being cracked at Gambit. I just think it's like the funniest thing. Yeah, they're fantastic.
We actually got a couple donations here.
Yeah, do it.
Hold up. Dude. We got a $5 from Judson. What Destiny needs is some creativity like a Forge mode. Oof.
I already talked about that one, yeah.
$5 donation. We got a couple donations from our boy CS. Thank you so much. Andrew Preston with a 5, and then another 5. You guys see the multiplayer Vidoc for Halo? Yes. Playing about Sony being a gated community, and then people are still playing Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. Why is it cutting this off? Oh, here we go. People are playing Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. How many people are still playing Battlefield 1?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
listen.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. People, Battlefield 1? Why did you say Battlefield 1? Say Battlefield 4. Battlefield 4 is still popping. Battlefield 4 has a solid community. like Battlefield 1, people still play it. Battlefield 5, dead game. But 4 is still popping. You have no problem getting a Battlefield 4
4
server.
is like modern.
Right?
Yeah.
That was the latest modern one, and that's what everyone loves, right? So that's why they're going back to it.
Will Halo free to play have good anti-cheat? We pray. We pray. No, I don't think anyone knows.
It better. Like, it seems like, again, Microsoft is actually investing in these properties. They got someone at Microsoft has got to say, "Hey, we should probably have a good anti-cheat." You sometimes wonder, like, these people who get paid lots of money, like millions of dollars a year to run these game companies, and they make these dumbass decisions and stuff like at Twitch. Like, it's kind of bizarre. Like, it's like, how are these people making these decisions? And that would be what I would say if it launches with no anti-cheat, that no one higher up the chain prioritized that.
Yeah.
What's the next Destiny Darkness subclass? I'm gonna call it right now. Put this in chat. I'm gonna call it right now. Looking back at subclass expansions and new classes, I think we are at the soonest 1.5, maybe 2 years away from a new subclass. I would not bank on it.
But what about like in the darkness, like a poison subclass?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Even then, you think that far away?
Yeah. Think about how often they release new subclasses like that, new elements. Like, you're introducing a whole new element. I'm like, no, that's a huge undertaking. It's a huge development cost, and Beyond Light didn't grow so great with stasis. Do not expect that anytime soon. People are like, oh, it's got to be in the Witch Queen. I'm gonna tell you right now, I would bet $500,000.
Hold on.
I don't have that much to bet.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, hang on. Let me refresh my bank account.
Wall Street bets.
I would bet $75,000 that is not happening in Witch Queen.
Yeah, it does seem like certainly a risky play. It's like they basically almost ruined the game with stasis, and they're like, this year though, we'll get it done, baby. It's like,
yeah.
Especially since if it is built around poison, because like Thorn and Necrotic Grips, and they work together, and it's like kind of a theme that's clearly going on there. And building around that, like, damage over time is freaking annoying. Like, imagine a whole subclass built around damage over time and damage over time grenades and damage over time melees. Like, you trade so much in this stupid game. The amount of times where I like shotgun melee someone and then I just inexplicably die as well or whatever. Like, now you're telling me I'm going to shotgun melee someone and I'm going to walk away for 2 seconds and then I'm going to die from their damage over time melee or whatever. Like, that's going to be frustrating as well.
Fair. Okay. So you said top 3. You said some of your top 3, but someone said, what new IP, so not Battlefield, which new IP has you excited the most?
Starfield.
It is Starfield.
Yeah, it is. That's the obvious answer. Yep.
Does Elden Ring count as IP? Like a new IP technically?
Yes. I'm going to say yes.
Then I'd say Elden Ring for sure. Hands down.
Yeah.
But Starfield is very close because I just hope it's a banger. Like I'm praying. They're neck and neck, but I think I'd definitely give the edge to Elden Ring because those have always been up my alley.
So someone said damage over time would be crappy for PvE though. The Anarchy and the Wither Horde are damage over time, brother.
Yeah, so, fair.
Take that back right now.
I just want that goat simulator.
Yeah, that was a fun game.
It's on Game Pass. You can play it.
Hell yeah!
My kids play it every now and then on Game Pass.
I want a game based on Seinfeld's life. What's the deal with E3? What's the deal with this Gearbox showcase?
Yeah, exactly.
It's incredible. Was there any Monster Hunter info? Monster Hunter Rise coming to PC. You guys excited for that?
Nope.
No, I'm kind of iffy on Monster Hunter now. I like
as far as Monster Hunter, I enjoyed I enjoyed the what was
World.
did it have a unique title?
World.
Monster Hunter World? Yeah. I enjoyed it. I played the crap out of it. I made a couple of videos, I streamed it a bunch, and I really enjoyed it. But Rise, I must admit I have not played a single minute of it. The only thing I know about it, I know because I've watched some Eric's videos and I've watched Missed Out 5000 Watts live stream it. And it looked pretty fun, but I've not dived in myself.
Judson Watkins with $2. I'm surprised Bungie hasn't shown that new game Matter. I mean, next year will they show it? 2 years from now?
No shot.
Who
Didn't
knows?
they say that they're trying to get it to come out by 2025?
I don't know.
I think they said their goal is to have a new IP launch 2025. So that's a while away. Like,
I'm gonna tell you right now,
that means
development is slow.
Yeah, so we won't see even we won't even see a teaser until like 2023, and then it would be 2 years away. Earliest 2022. Maybe we'll see a teaser for 3 years away. Like, that's kind of crazy. Like, and their goal is 2025. So it's only going to be later. They're not going to be before 2025. It's going to be 2025 or later.
Right. Yeah.
So,
all right, boys. I think that's going to be it for the RGH podcast. We talked about a whole bunch of gaming, had a good time.
woo!
Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate it. We do this podcast every Wednesday night at 9
We
p.m.
gotta say
Eastern
thank
time.
you to our other sponsor,
Yes.
Advanced GG. Just before we end, we're such good podcast hosts. Like, why? Like, you know what I mean? So we get those big partnerships, gamer. Advanced GG, only clinically proven gaming supplement out there. Use code RGH and you get a discount, 10% discount, and it helps all three of us. Even though we don't know where the money is, the RGH money goes to a secret account, offshore account. It's Tash's offshore Bermuda account. We've not seen a dime. So
I got 5
talking to me?
tubs that should be delivered either tomorrow.
I got a
or the
message.
day after.
I got a weird message where it was all of our Advanced GG money, and Tash put it all in an AMC YOLO, AMC call YOLO,
And lost it all.
Yeah, and said we're to the moon or bust, gamer. And I was like, jeez.
I got another tub of yours, Kackis, coming. I also got I took a gamble. I did 2 tubs of Danielle's.
It's so good.
It's good.
It's so
sounds
good.
good.
It's great.
It's her. I got to try her and Sir D's recently, and
I
they're
got
like
Sir
so
D's
good.
as well, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of makes me annoyed. It's like, oh, we're making flavors this good now. Okay,
Yeah. My
But-
latest thing has been mixing yours with. I have to admit, I've not been a fan of triple rec berry on its own, but I found mixing it with yours is actually pretty good.
Yeah,
So I
that's
do the kiwi lime and the berry. The only downside is that green and red mixed together makes a poop color. So I just put it in my black shaker.
You
so
just
I
can't look
see.
at it.
But it tastes
Exactly.
really good.
I don't want to see what I'm drinking. I just want to drink it, taste it. In my mind, it's like a beautiful turquoise color. Yeah, that's the next. Once you start mixing, I've actually mixed myself and Tash, kind of just poured them together in a fit of ecstasy to simulate what we did when we went to Kelowna together. And LA together. It's kind of what same thing. And that was actually like a pretty good like tropical drink. Like once you start mixing them, there's some great combos I've heard.
All right.
Never heard what TV was drinking tonight. Real quick, Whistle Pig 12 was the second one. New Riff Rye was the third one, and the Zeppelin blend from New Holland Spirits was the first one.
Yeah, I noticed you've been a little dizzy looking.
Wait, what do you mean like first, second, and third? You've had 3 cups of whiskey?
Listen, Kaggis, the first one was first, the second one was second, and the third one was third.
Okay. This has been a long episode, I guess. You're going through 3 bottles I hope not 3 bottles.
Listen,
or
I'm not trying to die,
cups,
bro.
3 cups from 3 different bottles. Okay.
All right, boys. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you guys soon. I'm Mtashed.
I'm KackisHD.
True Vanguard.
And we'll see you soon, gamers.